Hi, folks. This is Aimcom here, and we're in part two of our AI Redux Chart.js application here. Started from the get go, just like trying to create a boilerplate here. So, the last thing I did was push the project to GitHub. I actually pushed a few other things. So now that if you would download it and just npm start, uh, npm install, npm start, you would get like this basic the brain. I actually connected the brain I to the app. So let's go like where I coded it quick here. And you know, uh, we I used Yarn in my other project, but it works better with npm. So I switched to npm install instead of Yarn, um, because my import, if I use import here, it just doesn't work. I really need to use require in this particular fashion here. It's I would say it's the state of things, probably because Yarn might have some GPU binary to build or something that npm just does it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but anyways, I'm npm install, and so I configured a brain. I gave it some iteration, error threshold, log true, learning rate, momentum, hidden layers. A bit big, but that's cool. It's a project. 10. I can change this, but right now it's on 10. So we initialize the brain. I just call it brain one. Is a new brain neural network config, right? And we'll go right into the code instead. So let's continue on. So this is I showed this so that you can use this link to, and I'll put it in the code when my video is done here, um, and you can git clone it into a project. If you use Visual Studio, you can use Visual Studio right into the terminal. Um, while it's true that you would probably need to install JIT on your computer to have JIT installed, but I'm not. I'm more talking about my app here instead of talking about all the Node installation, Visual Studio installation that one must do to build apps. Okay, so in the project itself, we were looking at config that I coded in, the one brain that I initialized here with these configs. Um, we'll come back to those arrays slowly because last week, not last week, but the last session, I had worked on this little code here. Okay, I kind of just cleaned it up, gave it some, so when we look in the console, we can see what grab, the value of grab, the value of start, and the value of end, you know, to control my chart size. So grab was being taken from the state of my project. So 5 is the state, and right here. So if I change to 10, on the next cycle, we should have 10. So I'll be right back on that. And I'm looking at this one project. So this one here, I cloned it myself. Like I just called it John Doe clone 003. Okay, that being said, we can continue. I'm looking at my state here. Okay. Um, so these two variables were kind of important to control my charts. This again was, like I said, the response from Binance. All this. If my array is full, just do this. If it's not, fill it up. Okay. Um, for this particular array of open, I had to make push, add 499 because the array is already at 500 full, right? So when I build my brain, which we're coming here, okay, so the first thing I do is build a training set, right? So we'll make it a loop, right? I give it a name, a handle name, brain1 training set equals this array, right? I just need like a little tableau to put the stuff in, or a box to put something, all the things in. So that's my handle. Then I push this structure in, input, high, low, and close. I give them tiny handles, okay, to go and fetch the high I minus 1. Why minus 1? Because the I is the length of 500 and I need 499. And, depending how big the array will become as the cycles grow, 531 minutes, 532 minutes, whatever the size is, the length, the I will be minus 1. So I fetch the last, I start there, I grab from 0 to all of it, I grab the array from the position 0 of the high array, and it'll grab everything. I multiply it by 0 point, make sure it's 5, yeah, 0, 0, 0, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with the 1 on the fifth position, because Bitcoin is at like 16,000 has like 5 digits, right? So I want to squish that number 0 point, let's say, for example, here I'll give an example. If BTC equals 16700, let's say, I want it to equal in the brain while it's processing 0.167, and it doesn't matter for the zeros there. So because it's all zeros. If there was another number, let's say, I don't know, Bitcoin was like 0.03, something like that. Well, okay, then I would have like 0.3, let's say. Yeah. So that would be injected. That's the how the brain would receive the digits between 0 and 1. That's where it processes the easiest, apparently. Well, it is apparently. Yeah, that's because it's using a tan formula or a sigmoid formula, and they all squish everything to between 0 and 1. So if the numbers are already like, I think it just works out good. So if you had Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, if you had Ether, for example, it's like what's Bitcoin? I don't know, 5,000, 6,000. No, I don't know. I didn't check. You would just like multiply it with like four digits, right? Okay, so that's the normalizing part eh, of injecting the price into the brain. I got the input and I got the output, right? So I'm training them like in such fashion. I'm creating a pattern here, right? These three together create a pattern, and the output is a pattern. So when and the output is also like a target. So the bias every time it trains one time, it'll kind of detect itself. Oh, was I far away from the target or close? So the bias will change accordingly so that the brain could actually hit the target better and better. Yeah? So okay, let's use that as as an indicator. As, so okay. So the pattern, there's a pattern. Uh, wrap ourselves around this concept of neural network, right? Um, so got the output, then we train it. Okay. Okay, I got my data set. We train this structure: high, low, close, output. Okay. And then I create another handle and I put the brain to run on that handle, like with brain.run. And obviously, run, it comes from the library, right? So run is just not an empty word, it's got like a back to it. Okay, so it does these equations. It'll create weights and stuff like that behind the scenes that I'll show. Okay, so we run it, and then I go and fetch it. So I create a little another box, open brain result, and then I push that result in. So what is that result? It's that handle I created dot op, right? Those little tiny handles, right? HHOP. So I'm in the run. Check this out. There's no OP here, but in the training there is an OP. So when it's training, it's got an OP. So let's go and fetch it at the end. It did something, so let's go and get it. So I push it into open brain result. It's like an array up outside my app, over my app, well, over my app. So it's over here. Okay, and come back to this because I do a few things here. I push it to the box because then I want to do. I want to create an open brain result slice. So I create another handle. Okay, and I take that result, I slice it because it's going to grow and grow and grow, right? Just um, like it's just going to keep growing. So I want to maybe only check five pieces, or 10 bars, or 5 bars, or 30 bars, 20 bars, just like my buttons here behind. So um, I'm slicing it according to the start and end function, which I did last session, right? So that I can control the charge size. Yeah, I think, yeah, at this point it could be for a lot of people like, oh, I'm lost here. Okay, just just let yourself be lost and let's continue. Because I think it's going over it again, and if you can clone it and you can just snapshot it and pause the video, or just look at this code by yourself in silence and connect the dots. Um, It's kind of simple how I'm wiring things up. Okay, so I started last session uh, putting up the dispatch function here and my payloads and talking about that and how when when I have a result, I want to migrate all my info into that payload so that I can use it in the chart, right? So, okay, now that I sliced it, I return this item. So now this item here will always kind of be equal to the other ones that I built, like in the same fashion. The average here, right? So I set it into the payload, and again, it's repeat, rinse and repeat here. We go back to the brain, and I set up another little chunk of block here. I type it, and then there's things that we can do is go check the docs for chart. There's different lines, bars, stars, all kinds of different colors, border width. There's a lot. There's a lot. I can't just all name them. I'll try to here. What did I do? I did a border dash. Okay, on the average line. Where's it? There. Border dash. Boom. I added that. One thing I didn't talk about is that this border dash is an average, and I didn't talk about that where it's actually pretty simple to do. It's a because we know the state. I've got 10. Well, I could add all the price of the Bitcoin, right? And what's the average, right? And add it and divide it. So that's a bit what I did over here with the average. I pointed it out. I thought maybe I forgot about to talk about it. So I did the same thing here. Okay. So I got because I know the length, you know, the length will be whatever we choose it to be, right? Open latest, it's connected to the grab function 10, right? So average open, reduce, HH, return H1 plus H1. I just gave them some variables, some handles again, tiny, tiny handles so that I can grab the values of things, put it in the reduce, create this handle here so that I can divide it with the state. I know that the open latest length is the state that I choose, okay, because I'm the developer here. And whoever's looking at it will be, as yourself, a developer. You'll be a developer. If you keep looking at code, you'll become a developer. It's, I'm joking, I don't know. Okay, so we did that. So the brain is, I did like a narrative talk through the setup. So basically, I made it a bit, oh, made it simple, but there's one thing that I forgot to talk about. When you download, and I'm going to do something to write this, or I'm going to redo it for some reason, package.json. I got chart JS2 there. I got the brain there. What's missing is chart.js. So let's do this. I want to do this together. I'm going to copy. I'm going to set up a project here. Okay, I'm going to CD back here. All right. I'm going to copy this. Git clone, and I'm going to call this AI dash John clone 004. Okay, right. Okay, now this, all right, terminal, npm install chart JS. And I believe that the fact that you npm install a package, it's gonna, if it's not been installed, it's gonna install the whole package. So we'll see. I'm doing it uh, like that because I know that um, I left it in, and when I did my npm, it's like you can't read that package, you know. So okay, yeah. And this is so package.json. Okay. So okay, let's not from chart from the root project. Okay, that's probably where. We'll let it happen. Okay, and this is the first time I try like straight up just put chart.js in it because it's not in the project. But there's I think I should just install it and then install chart.js. That's as simple as that. And I'm going to try to figure out something to make this project way simpler, like just npm install run start. Nothing like that where I have to figure out, oh, chart.js not there. Because for a beginner, it's like, what? So I'll just pause this because I don't want to waste more time here. 23 minutes. Well, meanwhile, I could say something about, okay, I'm doing part two from part one. Okay. And I did a lot. I did another project. It's all the same project. I actually refer myself to while I'm building this project. Um, I'm referring myself to this project here. But right now, I don't have like in this project I'm building. Not I don't have three brains. I only have one brain. I only have one line, uh, one output saying the open. I don't know. If we want to. I'm going to be doing other lines to check out the high, the low, and the close. I'll do part three, for example. Um, and I'm really trying to, imitate this. My down in my first video when I was doing this video, I'm like, no one's gonna listen to this one. It's like all code. It's like I'm talking about code, philosophy, or whatever. And then I realized that a lot of people out there seem to like this type of um, video. Well, I'm not saying it's entertaining. It's kind of entertaining, I guess, but towards a project or a structured idea, Um, yeah, because so yeah, it all derives. It's all in pieces. It's like piece of this or piece of that. I tried to put a right title to my things that if I'm talking about a code, I'm talking, and if I'm philosophizing or if I'm just observing or whatever. So, okay, let's go back and see what's happening here. Okay, so let's go see our package. Okay, so even though I did this, and this is what it was doing, but it wouldn't want to install when I had when I left this in here. And basically, this is the latest version is 401. See, I can tell if I go on. Oh, see this one loading 501. So this one could be upgraded. So updated, but it seems to be okay. So we can just check. Um, I got one on 301. Okay, let's. I'm gonna shut some down here. All right, one down, two down. Okay, now that I just installed this one, let's see if we can make this one npm start key. So so the GitHub push is could be good. We'll see in a second here, as you saw. And I should put like a little link to the videos. But I'm going to try to see if I can fix this with the chart where you don't have to do that. And so from now on, with this kind of boilerplate, it's basically you can rinse and repeat with the charts, you know, and learn and use some docs and add your own flavor, you know, background and stuff like that. So okay, let's open up the see what's behind the scenes here. Console. Boom, boom, and voila. And maybe we should take a moment and take a look at the. I put the console log the neural network of that brain. Open latest average price. Oh, okay. I didn't change this, so there was a little like I didn't change my titles up here. Okay, and the color. I don't. So if I look at this one, yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip push that again to the zip up so it looks like this one. So it's not. Okay, I'll let it run. You'll notice there's no dash line. The average. Okay. So the brain. With that size, training options, activation 10, you know, iteration, learning rate, momentum, and all that can be kind of run, can be controlled in the configs. You can actually do like something, I don't know, mass, but Touch. So this one here is always it gives out literally like between 0 and 1, right? The result, which the learning rate and momentum requires. But it's a bit crazy, it might go too high, too low here. But save, refresh, learning rate, key weight, then change. It's the same thing. Oh, okay, wait a second, sorry. Wait, okay, I put it here, but did I have a config down here? Ah, so okay, let's take that and let's go put it. So you can see that you can kind of override it with another config while you're doing the training set. It's paste, save. No, that should work. Here we go. Some odd, some odd learning rate, some odd momentum, and it could like kind of influence the result here. So you might what we could you can do. I like to do like a random between 0.4 and 0.2 and make a function that does that. Just not just like between 0 and 1. A big like one could be 0.9, like 7. Like learning rates, I think it should be the opposite right now. Momentum should be zero point 0.7, and learning rate should be like 3. You know, but you never know. Like the market, the momentum, the feeling, all that. And so this is the brain, and goes on and on. Are they still working? Yeah, these ones are still working because, but I can't do nothing to it. If I refresh, it's. Oh no, they're working. What am I saying? No, they're not working. I shut everything down, but they're working till I refresh it, and then it's going to say this website doesn't appear. Like if I do this, it's 3,000. Oh, it is working. Not that one. Got too many open here. Hmm. Which, oh, it's this one. This is the one. 3,000 is the same as this one. See if I refresh this. There we go. All right. So this is part two. And recap, we said in the brain. And I talked about it. So see you folks on the flip side. And I hope you guys enjoy. And don't be shy. Leave any comment, questions, anything. I'll try to respond as good as I can. All right. So I gotta find my record button here. Okay. Bye bye.